We reached out to you on Instagram to see what questions you had about beauty and skincare. My name is Gore. I'm the president of Biossance, and I'm joined today by some amazing founders. Tara Foley, the founder of Follain, Tiila Abbitt, the founder of Aether Beauty, and a YouTube sensation, Hyram Yarbo. Let's get started.
So this question says, how do you layer your skincare?
Ooh, that is a common question. So I personally recommend starting off with your treatments, so your exfoliating products, your serums afterwards, and then to go into your more moisturizing products, which is like your moisturizer or your oil, and then always as the final step, a sunscreen.
What active formulations in clean beauty are actually effective?
So I would say, when it comes to looking for active formulations, you want to look at the ingredient list. Things like glycolic acid, lactic acid, phytoretinol, or retinol are all examples of ingredients that are going to give you those dramatic active results. What are the worst ingredients in skincare? So I would say personally, I think the worst ingredients in skincare are first denatured alcohol or SD alcohol, because it can be overly stripping and drying to the face, but I also have a skin sensitivity to it, so it just doesn't deliver the good results that you want from a clean skincare product. Another ingredient is fragrance or parfum. Fragrance can be a really irritating ingredient and can just make your skin freak out, have a lot of negative side effects, which is what you don't want. If you find this anywhere on the ingredient list, it can be problematic because companies are allowed to not disclose which ingredients make up fragrance. So it could be 1, 2, 500, 4,000 ingredients. You have no idea, and that lack of transparency means that there could be a risk for your skin.
We get this one a lot. Do natural oils trigger breakouts?
So really it depends on your skin type. I mean, there's some more comedogenic oils like coconut oil that will break out people with more acne prone and oily skin, but I hesitate to say a direct yes or no because honestly you have to cater to your skin type and concerns.
For this next topic, we're going to be talking about clean makeup. What clean makeup products are best for a natural daily look?
So I always like to recommend multi-purpose products that you can use sort of all over your face. One of them, for example, is a highlighter that you can use both as a highlight as well as an eyeshadow or even pop it on your lip gloss. Or you can use a pigmented lip gloss that you can also dab on your cheek as a blush.
This is a good question. Why is it important to use clean skincare and clean makeup together? For clean makeup and skincare, it's really about making your entire experience clean. That actually includes body as well in body washes and hair. So of course, skincare and makeup, because they're layered together, makes sense for them both to be clean, but you should really think about your entire body as your clean experience. So this next question is pretty common. How long does clean makeup last? Is it shorter?
There's a misconception that clean makeup does not last as long as conventional makeup. Powders do not need a preservative at all. For example, my eyeshadows last 3 to 4 years after you open them. You want to make sure if you're using a liquid product like a foundation or mascara that there's definitely a clean preservative in there for your safety.
All right, this next one is, does makeup penetrate the skin the way skincare does? Yes, makeup has come so far. And in makeup today, you will actually find many skincare ingredients, and we absorb a lot of what we put on our skin into our bodies. And so whatever we put on it, whether it's a moisturizer or a foundation, is being absorbed into our skin, which makes it even more important to focus on making sure those are the right ingredients. We talk about this a lot in Clean Academy. What ingredients should we watch out for in makeup?
That's a great question. Most people have heard of phthalates or parabens or formaldehyde to stay away from. There's a few others I want to put on your radar. So talc is something of concern because it can get easily contaminated. PTFE is a fancy way of saying Teflon, literally the same Teflon in your cookware. And then mica is another ingredient that's not necessarily a clean concern, but it is a concern. So 30% of the world's mica is directly related to child labor. We need to start asking brands where they're sourcing their mica from.
How can you tell if a product is clean?
I think a good way to tell if a product is clean is by the results that you see within your skin. Clean products can a lot of times tend to be less irritating than other products, which means less inflammation and redness on your skin.
So because there's no regulation of the term clean, you do have to do a little bit of homework to determine what's most important to you when it comes to clean beauty and find brands that sync up with that.
Our next question is, how can a product be clean but not vegan? You can look at certain ingredients like beeswax, for example, which might be sustainably sourced, but is still not a vegan ingredient. So it's really important to look at both clean and separately vegan ingredients. Our next question is, why are essential oils considered clean?
Essential oils are considered clean because of the way that they're extracted and where they're from. They're volatile plant components that are derived naturally. And a lot of times with more clean skincare, it is focused on more natural extracts and a more natural focus overall, which would explain why it's clean.
This one is 2 questions in one. Can you use different brands together? Do certain products negate each other?
So yes, you can definitely use different brands together, especially in the more clean and natural leaning space. I would just say to always check out the ingredients to make sure you're using ingredients that pair well together. So for instance, some ingredients might be a little bit more photosensitizing, so you might want to use a sunscreen on top. Just always check your ingredients. That's a good rule of thumb.
Where does squalane come from? So squalane historically and unfortunately came from deep water sharks. Just recently, we've found a solution to create a stable form of squalane through sugarcane and sugarcane fermentation. So it's totally weightless, totally stable, and it's the same great moisturizer that we've always known and loved, but now we can save sharks while doing it. What are some irritants in clean beauty products?
So this really all depends on your skin type as well. And I would always recommend checking ingredients basically on the inside of your wrist if you're very cautious, or underneath your chin on your neck to see if you're gonna have a reaction to it. For some people, this might be botanical extracts, ingredients, sometimes like tea tree oil even. There's also photosensitizing ingredients like citrus oils and others that I would always recommend wearing a sunscreen on top of.
What is the difference between clean beauty and dermatological recommended brands?
When a dermatologist is prescribing a product, it's usually meant to treat a very specific skin issue. So that's very separate from your daily clean beauty products. Sometimes people have to use both.
Where can you look to find clean beauty?
I'm really happy to say that clean beauty is more accessible than ever. In the beginning, clean beauty was very much for kind of people in the know and a certain group of people. It was almost a club. But now you can find clean beauty at various price points everywhere. Okay, so this question says, what do we do with the packaging after we use our clean beauty?
Ooh, good question. So I think the first thing to do is make sure your product is completely finished, and then after you're done, make sure to completely clean it out so you can recycle it.
And I just add to that, so most beauty product packaging is made with mixed materials. So that means that even if it has a glass jar or bottle, it may have a pump that's made out of plastic with a metal spring inside. And so those different pieces are really hard to recycle easily. So there are other programs in the US like TerraCycle where you can send your products and they'll clean out the packaging and then give the packaging another life in the future. And you can find TerraCycle boxes in stores like Whole Foods. I mean, all of the Follain stores have them. And you can probably look up on their website to see where all the locations are across the country. How do we eliminate waste from skincare products? The answer is to always optimize and look for products that are made out of reusable materials like glass, or fully recyclable products. Depending on the area that you live in the country, it's easier to recycle different plastics than others. Either way, I would recommend fully cleaning out the products before giving them another life.
How have large brands changed to be more clean? What I love is that we are all seeing a big shift with some of the bigger brands where we understand how difficult it is to change overnight, and yet we see them making really great choices on their ingredients, and even more so on sustainable packaging. If you look at a brand like Colgate, who's just launched their first recyclable tube of toothpaste, that's one example of a very large brand headed in the right direction. I love this one. It's something my team and I talk about a lot. What is the ethical aspect to clean beauty?
So the term clean beauty doesn't mean that a brand is necessarily fair trade as well. That being said, most clean beauty brands, just because of their ethos, are fair trade and are ethically sourcing ingredients. Again, I'm sorry to say it, there is a little bit of homework on your end to make sure, because if a brand is going to the extent to source their ingredients in the best way possible, they'll probably tell you about it. But I'll just say clean beauty and fair trade usually fall within the same realm, but it doesn't necessarily mean they do.
Is clean beauty for everyone? Spoiler alert, yes it is.
Obviously it is. There's been quite a bit more innovation in the space, which has luckily brought down prices of certain ingredients and packaging. And so I'm happy to say that, you can access clean beauty at different price points now more than ever. I think it's a sign that really clean beauty has reached where it's always been intended to go. Is there any regulation of the term clean beauty, or can any brand call themselves that? I mean, unfortunately, there is still no regulation of the term clean beauty, which is why we always recommend that you look up each brand's standards and policies to see if you align with them.
This question says, how has science changed clean beauty? I love this question because to me, biotechnology and science is part of a sustainable future. It is one of the solutions in how we create a more sustainable planet. And what I just love to see is how beauty consumers are embracing the science behind things. There's a curiosity about where ingredients come from and the science of how they work. But we truly believe that the nerdy side of science and the charming side of beauty can coexist. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so glad we were able to answer some of your beauty questions around clean beauty. If you have any additional comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And please visit cleanacademy.com for additional resources as well.